Aston Villa are in the Champions League for the second time in Unai Emery's tenure.
He knows what he's doing.
What a manager he is.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He knows his
way around.
Because for me, I don't know whether it's unfair or not, and I want Villa fans to give us a call on 03717 223344. He's kind of like in his own league. Like, you've got, say, Pep, who is it, like, you know, the Pep, Conte,
the elite,
Ancelotti,
the elite,
you know, that, and then there's the one under.
Unai's still bubbling. He's bubbling. He's like.
But does he deserve to be higher up?
But listen. The only reason he's not is why he's not is because of Arsenal. That was his big shot at a big club.
I hear you.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously,
look what he's done with Villa.
That's what I'm saying. So it shows that he knows what he's doing and he knows his way around a football pitch. But for him, this is a statement. And now he'll be in the runnings to take any big job now. I'm here in Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? I'm here in certain caliber of teams that Aston Villa fans won't like to hear this, but he's going to be gone. He'll be gone if he does well next season.
Why? Why? Villa are a big club. They've got money. They've got a great fan base. Why should Emery look elsewhere than Villa?
Villa are a big club. We know that. A biggish club. But then you got the super. Okay, it's a big club, but then you got super clubs.
Yeah.
And that's the end game for any manager, isn't it? Super clubs. Well, getting to the height of your career. You want to be recognised for bringing trophies to a super club.
Well,
and listen, Aston Villa is definitely a big club, but not a super club.
Well, tonight they beat a massive club in Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the champions. For me, that's a super club.
Well, let's go to Vanessa because she joins us straight away on the Sports Bar. Good evening, Vanessa.
Hi, not happy again.
Again. You hear the laughter in the background. They're laughing in the back of the Sports Bar.
I hear it. We keep conceding. That's why.
Just vent from top to bottom.
Wrong.
Yeah. What's happened? What's going on? Come on, tell me. This is
we'll be at therapy.
Yeah, this is therapy. We'll be at agony aunt.
Well, we're just not as good as we used to be under Jurgen. Since arms take. Yeah, we won the Premier League title. That's all we won under him. I can't see it. If we lose on the last day of the season, I've got a feeling he'll be off. Even though he said he's adamant he's going to stay.
Is it his choice?
It's the worst season we've had this year.
Do you think, for example, it should have been time to say goodbye to Mo Salah at the start of the season? Maybe it would have been start afresh, you know. I personally think, of course, we can't forget about the tragic situation with Diego Jota and his brother, of course.
No, I know.
You know, that's going to be a difficult season, Carlton, isn't it, for the lads in the dressing room to get over that, surely?
Yeah, I think that's another thing.
It's another thing. It's not an excuse, but it's another thing.
Listen,
no, I know.
Listen, I know what you're saying, Madge, and I was a big advocate for that. There's no right way or wrong way of grieving. No. You don't know how someone's going to grieve, especially when he's been your mate for so many years, and you've got accustomed to having him around. Now, the problem is, it's not about that part, the emotional part. It's more to do with the decision making sometimes on the substitutions, on the formation.
Yes, agree with that.
Doing. So that's where
I agree, because Salah was on the subs bench again.
Things like that's not going to put him in good stead.
Not with the fans, for sure.
With the fans. So, and this is like the first time I've ever seen a manager get berated by his own fans, and just his own fans are not happy.
At the start of the season, we were looking at it, the money you spent, we was all going, it's Liverpool's, they've walked away with it already. So to finish where you finished just doesn't seem right, does it?
No, I think he'll go. I think he will go. I know he said he's adamant he's going to stay, but I can't see it somehow.
Sure that goes.
I think this was a try. So this back end of the season, right? The back end of the season for Klopp, I think it was a trial to see whether we should keep him or not for the club. But he's not covering himself with any dignity after this. Like, look at there's another loss.
Was it 9 away defeats this year? That's not Liverpool.
It's not Liverpool. What we doing here? And I know we can't hang on to. I know what we was talking about before with the sad loss of Jota and the injuries they've had. But as a manager, this is your job. You have to work around it. We can't control the elements around us, but what we can control is you got to take control of that team. And when they are feeling low, when they are feeling in the dumps, you've got to be that beacon to say, no, I'll lead you through the storm. And I don't think he's done that.
Great call, Vanessa. Let's go straight to John. You know why? Because he's a Villa fan. He was at the game. Up the Villa! Oh. You there, John?
John.
Hello, lads. You're...
What's happening, mate? What's up? How are you?
Up the Villa!
Up the Villa!
UTV and all that. Hashtag UTV.
Up the Villa, lads. Well, what I have to say, lads, is I'll be honest, watching that Liverpool performance, as good as we were, you could tell them players weren't playing for the manager.
Really?
100%. And to be honest, I'm a bit shocked by the Liverpool fans. You know, there was hardly any left at the end of the game. Considering that's your last away game of the season, you'd expect some more support there. I understand everything that's going on. I was a bit surprised to see Salah coming on, for like the last 10 minutes. But, you know, I think we've been sensational. I was listening to you, Carlton. I was saying, you know, I understand what you're saying with Emery, with a big club, but I just don't think he does well, in my opinion. Maybe it's my bias. I just don't think he does well with big personalities. You know, we saw that with John Duran. You know,
correct.
the minute that personality started coming out, he was gone.
Even the back and forth he's had with Martinez, isn't it? I suppose you could even answer that. 'Cause at the start of the season, it was going to be Bizot.
Yeah,
maybe you're right there.
Bizot.
Maybe it is a character thing that he can't deal with it like that. So he's just.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so maybe he's just comfortable in his Maybe he is just a comfortable person in what he can control. He doesn't want to challenge himself to get bigger, which is fair enough. Like some people are like that, and that suits you.
I wouldn't say that he's uncomfortable to become bigger. I just don't think that he gets on well with personalities that challenge the manager, and so they shouldn't. You know, we've got a group of players that don't challenge the manager, and look what we've achieved in it. You know, we've got to 2 European semi-finals, we've got to the Champions League twice, and on Thursday, you know, we'll be in Istanbul. And that comes from the players buying into what he says.
Yeah, and you know what? Can we talk about John McGinn as well? Because what a servant he's been for Aston Villa.
I was saying to the lads that sit next to me, all I want is John McGinn to lift some silverware. You know, what I've seen, you know, in the time that I've been following Villa, from the Championship to now, he's been playing for us. And, you know, he's had opportunities to go. I don't think that's any secret. You know, he's been linked with Man United, you know, how many times? And he stayed, you know, when Grealish, you know, his best mate is gone. And he stayed and he's played for the club. And look what, you know, he could be on the cusp of being an absolute Villa legend.
Big time.
More so than he is. And I think, you know, when we've got a player like that, the Villa fans don't forget him. And I think, you know, he's up there with, you know, the best players I've seen, you know, in my time of being a Villa fan.
Do you know what?
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
John, I look at it in the way that Villa's gone on and with Emery, very similar to with Spurs and Poch, right? And we had that moment with Spurs and Poch. And unfortunately for us, we never got to have that winning moment with Pochettino and, you know, seeing Harry lift something. Now, I think for Villa, Istanbul, John McGinn and Emery lifting up that trophy that, in my opinion, belongs to Emery.
Be beautiful.
It's his trophy, isn't it? He wins it so often. That's going to be a great moment for Aston Villa. And you know, as a football fan, I can put, you know, any rivalry aside. I don't really have any rivalry with Villa anyway, but it's going to be a great moment for McGinn and Emery to see, you know, you was in a relegation fight with Gerrard. He comes in and look where you're at now.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I think McGinn is one of those players where I don't think I've seen him, bar, you know, a 7-game stretch where Villa fans were saying he needs a rest under Gerrard, that he has dropped any lower than a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all we ask for Villa fans. I don't care if we get walloped 4-0. I just want our players to give everything on the pitch. You know, everybody, you understand, Spurs fan, anybody, and Carl's been lucky enough to put on the jersey, but as a fan of a club, that's what you dream of. And, you know, he might not be Villa by blood, but my God, if we made him Villa by passion, and I don't think he'll ever forget us. And likewise, you know, how often do you see a player like that reveled by the fans? You just don't. It doesn't come far and few between now. You know, I think we're approaching 7 seasons on the bounce of McGinn. I mean, you're hard pushed to find a player like that nowadays.
Yeah, correct.
And it's testament to him. You know, what a player and what a man. You know, I think we signed him for what, 2.5 mil?
Yeah, it sounded very, very small.
Bang for buck. That has to be the best signing in the last 8 years. It's got to be.
You know what? Every football team needs a John McGinn, and I think that, for example, Liverpool had a Jordan Henderson. You know, that's the kind of player I liken it to. It's just like you said, their commitment, their work rate never dips underneath the 7. John, thank you very much. Let's go to another Villa fan. We've got Adam who joins us on the Sports Bar. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening, boys. How we doing?
What the Villa?
Good evening. UTV. Go on.
We're celebrating Aston Villa tonight because I tell you what, very likeable manager and, you know, a great crop of lads there. Like, just looking at the goal scorers tonight, McGinn, Watkins and Rodgers, it's been a really well-assembled team, don't you think, Ad?
Mate, it's been a heck of a roller coaster from the start of the season to now. Like you've already, talked about, we couldn't find the back of the net for the first 4 games of the season. We had the best run since like 1980 something or other with 12 on the spin. And then we've had an absolute crash of performance for the last 5-6 games. And we think, oh, it's brilliant, we can do 4-0 over Forest, and then we get battered by Spurs. So going in today, I'm just thinking, oh my God, we're crap against Liverpool. Even though they're having a crap season, this isn't going to go well tonight. We've got it all on tonight, and it's not going to go well. And what do? 4 goals, 2 for Watkins, 1 for Super John McGinn, 1 for Rodgers. Up the Villa, come on, boys.
No, don't get too happy, mate. You could have done that for West Ham the other night against Spurs, and you didn't. You failed miserably, eh? So don't start saying
listen,
mate.
They had a master plan because what Emery did, he piled pressure on Forest to have to play a good team against Chelsea. That they did. They ended up losing Morgan Gibbs-White. They then beat Forest. They're now in the final Istanbul. They're going to win that. They've already got Champions League football.
He's played a blinder.
He's played a blinder.